it moving out there? Is it doing good? Is it looking good? And not only is it looking good, it's looking. Some things came out today that I have to say really bothered me. So much so that I got in a little conversation with Ron from when I was babysitting a little monkey, and he got in a little conversation with her too. So I think that made him feel better. But we're going to discuss a lot of things. But guys, I'm going to say prayer right now. I'm going to say it because there's so many people needing it. So I want to start off, dear Lord, as we come to you tonight at the beginning of the show. We come to you with our hearts filled with concern for the people here in the show. Marianne, whose family members are having problems, and Bill, a friend of mine who I found out today has cancer, and they said he's got 2 years. If there wasn't a miracle, he wouldn't last longer. For Cindy and her roommate. For the other person, and I'm sorry, I was running late tonight, and I meant to get over to my email, but there's another lady that said that she needs prayer for her family that sent me an email, so you will know who that is. But for all the children, Lord, and the things I've heard today about the children, they're so sickening to me. So I'm asking you to look after 100% of all children. Anyone here, Myrna, who's had a rough year. Diane, who I still don't know if she's in her house yet. People who need your support and your love, please reach out to them and take care of us all as we pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about some beds. Jimmy, I set it to table tonight at my daughter's house, Jimmy. I sat there. I cut myself shaving, if you're wondering that is. That's not a booger. I sat there and I got talking to my granddaughter about these magical beds. I sat there and talked to her about them, Jimmy, because, and for everybody else in this show, something tragic happened last night that probably could have been taken care of. And I'm going to talk about that tragedy later, because it's going to fit in with the other part of the show. But as I sit there and talk to my granddaughter, because she didn't understand why someone that young, why, and I'm going to discuss that in the show. But Jimmy, these beds are ready. They're more than ready. They're waiting. They need us. So never, ever, my friend, give up the faith. Keep with mommy, keep her spirits high, and make her do whatever she has to do to make these beds. And I don't mean make them like you make your bed in the daytime, because mine never gets made. I just pull those sheets and whatever as best I need to. I crawl in like I crawl out, one leg at a time. Patriot 11. I know Grandma and Grandpa's in the warm weather now, and you'd probably like to be there. I don't know exactly where you live. You've never told me. But with your friends, I want to tell you something. Keep all your friends close. You know, I was discussing some things with someone the other day, and they said something about their best friend. They got to see their best friend, and they're talking, and they're all excited about their best friend. And I got thinking, when I was growing up, when I was the same age as my grandson, it was my grandson, Patriot7, who I was talking to. And when I was growing up, my three best friends were Dell Joyner, David Gross, and Terry Shover, and all three of them are gone. And how I sat there some nights, Patriot 11, how I sit there, and all kids, and just wish that I could have one more day. One more day. And you know, God will give you things you wish. I think about my little dog. That yes, these beds that I talked to Jimmy about, animals are going to be able to get on them. And if these beds would have come out, my brother-in-law, maybe my great nephew, would all still be here with us. But so would my little dog. And as I'm sitting here thinking things like this, it just amazes me how people give up, how people don't want to believe, and why. So that's why I talk to you guys each and every night about all of these things, because your friendships, everybody says a best friend lasts forever. They don't. My 3 best friends are gone. That's why you'll never hear me tell you Ron is my best friend. You guys know, but I'm not going to jinx it, because I want Ron sticking around a long, long time. And I've already mentioned Patriot Super Gymnast and what I had to go through with her tonight. And see, I had to go through even more with her when I got so sick the last time. And as I was laying there and the doctor told my nurse, this man needs a miracle within the next 4 hours or he's not going to make it. Everything is shutting down. I talked to God and I talked to all my family and I said goodbye to all of them. But I said, God, please don't take me, because I got to talk to my granddaughter, because she just couldn't understand why her papa was sick like that. And I had to let her know. She always thinks that little monkey is my favorite. Well, she's closer to me now because I'm with her all the time. But I almost lost my life for Patriot 7 in an accident, getting stuck in a snowstorm, a whiteout, just because I wanted to know my daughter was okay when she was less than a month away from having Patriot Super Gymnast. Patriot little Hank, who lives with me, sometimes he does things that just aggravates me, with his toys all over the house, with this, with that. And he's starting to get this attitude. And every time I start to get aggravated, I think how much I love him. Patriot Kira, everything we went through was just a little over a year ago. She finally got to come home. She finally got to come home and we got to hold her and be with her. And now she's turning into a grandpa's girl. Patriot little Leona, I get pictures from her. And she tells me I'm watching her grow up, because she tells me to tell Uncle Ron how she's doing and share the pictures. But Patriot 7, you, my friend, I get to talk to you. I'm looking forward to the ranch days, the horse days, and I look forward to you teaching me how to ride again. I mean, I've ridden some, but nothing major. I want you to teach me how to ride a horse. You may be my main instructor. You may make buku bucks just teaching people how to ride. But it's all about family, friends, and loved ones. And right now, we as adults who's doing this movement here, kids, as us doing this movement for you kids, to give you a better life, there's a lot of us here that's lost a lot of family who think we're crazy. But you know what I say? And I told my daughter today, I said, Amber, I said, everybody thinks that me and Ron are not very smart because of the things we feel and the things we talk about. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I was married to your mom, she's got a degree in teaching. She's got another degree for coaching. She has 2 master's degrees that cost me thousands of dollars. Now, she stayed with me long enough to get all of these degrees, and then left me with the bills. That's okay. But I said, you got a college degree. Brandon's got a college degree. But I'm telling you right now, the 4 of us, I'm the smartest one, because I know what's going on in the world. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. I don't get to talk to you. I've never really got to talk to you. But I've got to talk to your mom, and I know how amazing she is. So you be good to her. Patriot Princess, our queen. Patriot, she queen, our ball player. Patriot Hunter, our hunter and our ball player. And when I say hunter, I don't like to say that a lot, because I don't believe in hunting. I don't believe in shooting animals. That's me. That's me. Someone says you don't believe in shooting animals, you think It's this and this and this, but you don't have no trouble eating steak. No, I don't. But I tell you, if I was going to go hunting, I'd rather go out and shoot a cow than shoot a deer. Not that a cow is not as cute as a deer,
Yeah,
but boy, I like this the meat.
Put on deer pits.
Yeah, I don't have to put on cow pee to go out and shoot a cow. They ain't gonna run, you know. And I actually used that analogy with a friend of mine when he had some people over practicing their shooting, so they could go deer slaughter. It's however you feel about it. If you feel it's right, it's right. You know, we have Patriot Boogan, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. And as I talk about Patriot Little Leona, them three, I'm watching these kids grow up. For a couple years now, I've watched Boogs turn into a beautiful, not little girl anymore, beautiful young teenage lady. And I don't know how John's handling it, the way she's growing up, because my little girl, the little gymnast, super gymnast, she's going to be 10 on the 10th of March, her golden birthday. And I'm having a hard time right now. I see the way she's dressing and the way she talks, but you know, since I got sick and I had her come to the hospital and tell her my feelings, that I couldn't leave because I had to be here for her. Me and her have got back to the relationship we've always had. You know, all the college kids who they've all went back to school. And I don't mention the college kids' names because, you know, the 3 or 4 that I mentioned, all of them was home for a month, 6 weeks. Not one of them made one attempt to even say hi to me. And they're still kids. I still pray for them. I pray, you heard the prayer. 100% of the kids. 100% of the kids. But, you know, some of them kids are going to be 21, 22 soon. And when they turn that, you know, they're going to qualify for all this other. So all the kids out there, I think I got them all. All the kids, we love you. This group is one group that we can tell you we love. So that ends tonight's version of the kids. Now, before I go any further and play the music and say the pledge, I do want to address something. We have had a lot of people coming in that's been getting taken out. And I appreciate you guys protecting me, protecting the show. But I'm going to ask one thing tonight. If these people come in just because they have a strange name, make them do something wrong. Make them say something wrong before we take them out. Give them the benefit, because we have people coming in, and I've been getting a few emails about this. We have people coming in from other countries who don't speak the greatest of English. So when they create a name, they're just creating a name. It might be a name that on YouTube they've had for years. So protect me. Do your job. Do what you're doing, Janet and Michael and John and Myrna and Diane. All of my people, do what you're doing. But I'm just going to ask you to give them a chance. Like, let's say Janet, because her name is right here. Let's say Janet is a moderator, but David Duffy would have been new here. And let's say David Duffy come in the name Duffy David. Duffy David's daycare, whatever. I don't know. Something that's not natural, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with your name, David, or Duffy, or working in a day, being in a day. I'm just trying to make a point. Don't judge somebody on their name, because, you know, I was talking to someone the other night that's from India. They may not speak English, you know. Look at me. I made fun of Curly the one night I saw him come on as a Three Stooges. And Curly's turning in to one of our best people on here. I see Curly's name come up. And I'm not trying to kiss his, you know what. because to, kiss up to him. It's just that, guys, I'm trying to make points here. We got to give, we brag on. This is a opportunity. You can come and speak your mind. As long, now, if they're new people, they need to know the rules. They need to know we talk in code, the hat, sleepy, HC. There's other things, the big N, the big G. They know if they say the names, you have to delete that. Put them in a timeout. And when you put them in a timeout, say, the reason I did it is because we have to talk in code. And you guys can get the code to them in a way that I can't. So I'm just asking that. I'm not saying you're not doing your job. You're doing an amazing job, amazing. But I don't want to lose people. See, because we went from a little over 1,500 to well over 1,600 in a matter of a couple days last week. That means a bunch of people come in. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing people come in from India and a couple other countries. So your notifications are blocked. Anyway, I'm going to do the pledge, then I'm going to do the song, and then we're going to get back and get into the show.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today.
I'm sitting there trying to talk to you. And
I had no mood in sleep last night. I had no mood in sleep last night. I did sleep a little bit today.
Cause there ain't no doubt I love this
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to apologize for that, for doing the song before I did the pledge, but I've got a lot on my mind right now, and I just literally got up, hit the button to play the song, and went from there. So,
Well, what makes a difference?
there's a lot going on, guys. And I read something watched something just a little bit ago. And it had to deal with a couple of more days.
It's always a couple more days.
It had to deal with a couple more days. And as I said that, Patriot 6 is over in the background. He says it's always a couple more days. And if he'd let me finish, I would have explained. That's exactly what they said. But my question is, would you rather him say a couple more days, or it's going to happen this weekend, or part of it's going to happen this weekend and full extent is going to happen by Monday or Tuesday of next week? Or would you rather him say nothing's going to happen until after the 2024 election?
I want to hear the word done.
I understand. Ron says he wants to hear the word done. I want to hear and see the end. Put your popcorn away. It's over. But today, Ron says to me, make sure, hold on a second. He said, make sure you listen to Restored Republic. I said, okay. And I hadn't got around to it. He actually said this to me last night when we were chatting after I went home. And I said, I'll get to it. And I fell asleep on the sofa last night. I got about 1:30 and I went to bed and I did not listen to it. I come down here this morning to bring my little dog because I had to go babysit. Had some other things I had to do. And he looked at me and said, did you listen to that? And I said, no, but I will. So I made it a point tonight to listen to it. And Restored Republic today, for anybody who hasn't seen it or listened to it, you need to get it and listen to it. It's up on the Telegram page, mine. Anybody who needs the Telegram page website, I can send you an invitation if you just email me at Paycation, Paycation 1954 at yahoo.com. But anyway, in this, and I'm not going to go through a lot of it because I'll be doing Judy's reading, but there were some things that really bothered me. The things that didn't bother me is the fact that the hat has been in charge of the military ever since supposedly he left. Huh?
2020.
Yeah. So ever since he supposedly left, he's still been in charge of the military. And, part of me goes, hallelujah, hallelujah. Boy, this is great. But then part of me's going, and he let this stuff happen? Yes, Curly, I've heard that too. Well, they say that there will be no eating animals, Curly. They say there won't be any eating like that. So if there, I guess everything is going to be in the form of meat is going to be this stuff like this Invisible Whopper or whatever they have up at Burger King. It's going to be more other stuff. But, that's something we'll find out. But, I've heard the same thing. So anyway, what was I talking about?
We're going to have to find some way to make bacon now.
Yeah, Ron says, we got to make bacon. How are we going to, but I could give an answer to that, but I might get in trouble. I'll keep that to myself. But anyway, guys, in Judy, they're talking about these things. And, they're explaining things and wow, it's like Hitler. They're saying Hitler escaped Germany. He didn't, what he supposedly did. He escaped Germany along with all of his leaders. And they ended up in the Great, USA. That goes to show you how deep the cabal is, because they got in with them and then they started becoming professors and teachers and people influencing people all over in the United States. And there is another big step to where our country got to where it is. But as I was talking to Myrna last night, our country, where it is, sweet land of liberty. We discussed on Wednesday night, the bonds people have to go. Myrna asked, why do they get to go first? Ron said, because that's the way it was set up. Because, see, the truth of the matter, the bonds people bought bonds. The foreign currency for other countries was not supposed to go into effect until a few people bought some, told a few more people, and the cabal seen, oh, this is the way we can get all this foreign currency. We can sell it to these companies can sell it to the people. And in essence, they just created another income stream, because, you know, being able to just take, in the United States, being able to just take the machines and run whatever amount of money they want whenever they want is not enough. They created a new way. But see, what they created was hopes and dreams. I cannot tell you the last time how long it's been since I've ever bought a lottery ticket. I used to play pick 3 and pick 4, mainly pick 4 because me and Ron had a couple numbers when we was working. We had, and we played. And a story I'll tell you real quick about one of them. It was the number 1919, 50-cent box. Paid $400 if it won. And I was getting ready to go on vacation with my ex-wife and my 2 kids. We were going to Florida. We were staying in this nice little resort, having a blast. And I was one of the people that knew how to work the system legally. So when you go to Florida, they always want you to check out these timeshares. Hey, get 2 free tickets here, get this, get this. Well, when we went one day and went to 3 different timeshares. We knew we weren't going to go, but one of them, we got family of 4 complete dinners at real nice restaurant. Another one was 4 free tickets to Disney World. That it was a one day you could go there, and the next day you could go to Universal Studios. So we didn't have to pay money there. We give up one day, and the other one was I don't even remember now. But we was on it. Oh, the other one was to the another nice place to go eat. When you're down there, you're going to go out to eat. You don't want to cook when you're on vacation. So we went to 2 nice restaurants, got new meals for me and my kids and my ex-wife. We got to go to Disney World, Universal Studios. That saved us a lot of money, and it cost us one day. Not even one day, because I'm going to tell you right now, when you're honest in these things, and you get a guy assigned or a woman assigned to you, you go in there and you tell them, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just here for the gift. Give me your 5 or 10 minute pitch. Let's go outside. And then outside, I can say, well, we're not interested. Okay, because they want to get in and hopefully get someone that's interested so they can make some money off of commissions. So they really and truthfully appreciate you being honest with them instead of taking the whole tour of the resort, doing this, doing that. I didn't need to join a resort. I already belonged to one. But I did take their money. And they're free gifts. But that being said, once again, I lost my train of thought. Myrna, you really put a spell on me last night, because every time I get talking, I go off on a little bit something else, but then I lose it. But anyway, guys, the thing is we as a group, as listening to Restored Republic, about the stuff with Germany, of listening to other things. I was talking to you about the currency, how we were not supposed to be able to get it ourselves. It was just the bonds holders, and they weren't going to sell the currency until a few people bought some, a few people told a few people, a few people told a few people, and now all of a sudden they say, oh, this is a money-making thing, without illegally printing money. And they use that. But then enter the hat, and he's going to put a stop to this. Not a stop to the buying of the currency, but see, he's got to make a deal, because the bondholders are the ones that's supposed to get the money. They're the ones that bought these expensive bonds, paid a lot of money for these bonds. But us, we're getting this.
It was set up for the bonds people. That's where we're supposed to rebuild America, rebuild the
Us,
world.
we're supposed to set up, and the bonds were supposed to rebuild America. So,
And the world.
but with us, and the world. But with us, see, now we're in a situation where we're buying stuff, and I go back being involved in this, and I laugh every time. And I don't laugh at the individual, just the saying. It has nothing to do with the individuals who say it or that. It's a saying. But I laugh when someone says, I've been in this for about 6 months, or I've been in this for a year. I can't take much more. Me and Ron go back far enough. We could have actually, our first purchase of Iraqi dinar, we could have took that same money and bought Bitcoin for 1/2 penny a piece. I've had so many people say, well, you got to be aggravated at yourself. You didn't. Bitcoin at 1/2 penny a piece is 2 for a penny. It's 200 for $1. Just keep doing the numbers, guys, and think of the first $200 that we bought on Dong. We just bought 100 on Dong and 100 on the Bitcoin. And I said, but you know what? We weren't patriots then. We were just people trying to figure out a way. Me and Ron and my brother Russ, we was trying to figure out a way to make some money, because our factory had closed down. We wanted to have enough money that we could pay our houses off, pay all of our bills off, and still have a nice nest egg. And what is a nice nest egg? If you can be left with $200,000 or $300,000 and you owe nothing, that's a pretty good nest egg, especially if you got a nice vehicle to drive. And that's all we got in it for. But I do not feel bad about it, in the way that if I'd have done it that way, I probably would have never become a patriot. I'd have probably bought currency, but I'd have had money. So, I think my whole life outlook, I'd have never met Janet and David and Michael and Curly and Roland and Nunyo Biswax and Bill and, I'd have never, Ann, I'd have never met you people. We wouldn't be a family that we are today. So I don't have any bad thing. But we got to go back to the bonds people. I believe then, when they decided to make this a huge thing worldwide, over 400,000 emails are going out to people who have Zim. Can we rebuild the world with that? Guys, when I bought our first Zim, I bought 300 trillion Zim for less than $100, for less than $70. I bought it because I had not contributed anything to Ron and my brother Russ's dreams. They was the one spending the money, but I finally got financially set up after a terrible, that I was able to contribute. And I'm sitting one night, almost in the exact spot I'm sitting now, watching TV, but looking at my phone, and I'm on that book that's got a face, and I'm on there and I read this article. become an instantly rich person purchasing Zimbabwe Zim. 100 trillion for the ripe old price of $21 for 100 trillion. I started figuring in my head, but if you bought 200, you got a discount. If you bought 300, you got a bigger discount. The more you bought, the bigger discount you got per 100 trillion. So I got, 100 trillion for me, 100 trillion for Ron, 100 trillion for Russ. Man, if we only get 1 penny, we're trillionaires. If we only get a half a penny, we're $500 billionaires. Take it from there. A half a penny and you get $500 billion. A quarter, you get 250. I mean, you can take it out as far as you want. And as long as you're in the stratosphere, you're going to be very, very rich. And I said, you know what? I told Ron, I said, Ron, I got to go home for a little bit. He looked at me. He said, you never go home this early. I said, I'll be right back. I left both my puppies here. I said, I'll be right back. All I was doing was making an excuse to get out of the house. I went out to my car. I took out my debit card. I ordered 100 trillion Zim. It cost me less than $60 for the discounts. It didn't take me to get this transaction done more than 5 minutes. The people were very prompt, and I purchased them. Now look at the price of them. I think that's a good deal because now you can get 10 trillion for like, I don't know, $29 or $39, I think it was the other day. But 300 trillion, I walked in a house 5 minutes after Ron says, you didn't go home and come back already, which truthfully I can. I only live a minute and a half, 2 minutes from Ron's house by car. And I said, no, I just went outside. I wanted to be part of our system. By then, we weren't Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. We was just Ron, Ralph, and Russ. I said, I wanted to be part of it. You bought currency. You bought more currency. Russ has helped buy currency. I got nothing in here, guys. If we just get what they're saying, we're millionaires. And I did nothing but ordered it. And I said, I just went and bought us some currency. I had never heard of Zim until 10 minutes before that when I read it on that face with a book. He looked at me straight in the eye and he says, I really hope you bought Zimbabwe Zim. I'm telling you, I thought my eyes were going to pop out of my head. I said, yeah, why? What do you know about him? He said, all I know is they're supposed to be the best thing out there. And I said, well, would 300 trillion be enough? Well, it come to find out over the time after that, it wasn't. We bought much, much, much more, which I'm not going to divulge what I bought, and he bought, but we did good. But see, what I'm trying to emphasize on this point, guys, the reason I really believe it's going to happen is because we're run by better people. The hat is much better than the cabal. But also the fact, you look at these places and they went up and up and up in price. I mean, I've seen Zim advertised. Great deal today. They want $499 for 100 trillion. 409. Can you imagine how much Zim I would have had if I would have spent $499 that first time? But the Venezuelan Bolivar, oh my goodness, we have so much of it. I'm not going to tell you how much because we can't tell things like that. And that's fine. We have so much of it, and we got it for next to nothing. Now, they almost want as much for 1 million of them as what we paid for over 100 million. And I'm not saying we got over 100 million. I should have said that's what we would have paid because we have much more over 100 million. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying we saw an opportunity here, and instead of buying a lotto ticket and spending $10 or $15 a week on lotto tickets where they got to draw 6 numbers or 7 numbers, whatever it is, and you got to hit them all to win, we decided to go a different direction. And I see with our currency, whether it happened yet or not, we still have the opportunity for it to happen. With the people who's buying lotto tickets, every night they draw on Saturday and Friday night here in Illinois. If you don't win, that ticket is not even worth toilet paper. And that's a lot rougher than our currency, so because we could at least use ours for toilet paper. So I'm trying to make this point, guys. There's so much good out there happening. So please, please, please do not get discouraged. As I said, in the report today that Judy does and writes out, but they do the listing part. In that report today, there was a lot of good stuff. I can't cover it all, because if I tried to cover it all, we wouldn't get out of here. But I do have some other things. Alert, alert, alert. I just found out that JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon and the CABAL are now under the white hat military jurisdiction for crimes against humanity. And then it goes on to say, like, Morgan and Epstein and that piece of land over there of his, and the paper trail will come out via military tribunals. The Rocks, who has fellows, the Roth, who has Childs, Jamie Dimon's connection to the cabal, CIA, Mossad, Epstein, World Deep State System. This is why Jamie Dimon flipped for the hat. The cabal via Jamie Dimon is allowed the hat back into the WH, which you know what that is. It's a beautiful house. And Sleepy out. The leftist Alex SOR something S are now pushing Sleepy to a border crisis, civil war in which the Federalist states are playing into Sleepy's regime's hands and collapse of the fiat currency system, because both political parties are implicated in child, philia via, whose island, a currency reset to gold via border crisis, civil war people. The cabal is coordinating a border crisis, civil war to bring down the FIAT system rather than face military tribunals. This is the CIA's Black Swan. It's about to get ugly. It's not about to get ugly, guys. That part, I'm pretty sure, is pretty done. I mean, I seen in so many places today where it just kept saying the hat has been in charge of the military ever since. He took control, when, 16? And he's never given it up. The military has backed him. And I mean, people say, well, did you see the picture? Did you see the picture of the hat? People applauding, yay, yay, the hat. People in the military turning their backs on Sleepy. Yes, you see that. But anything you can see. But when you constantly keep hearing from reliable sources, and I mean, if you listen to any of the people talk, Bruce, if you listen to Wolverine, everything is there. It's ready to go. It's ready to go. Yeah, none you bizwax. Ours had went down here to, I got it once as low as 252, and now it's back up to 329 or 39. It's just the games are playing. I guess the hat has to keep doing things like that to make people think that it's, different. And see, I was talking last night and I said, how are we going to break this to the people? We're supposed to go in 3 8-hour intervals, 24 hours a day for 7 to 10 days. But how, you're not going to get somebody to sit there and watch 8 hours. They got to come up with a better plan. You got to. Okay. I was just at my house and my son was making supper for my little granddaughter. She's 1 year old. You have to fix her supper a lot differently. Now, she's an eater. She's a true Anderson. You have to fix her supper differently than you fix his or his wife's or even small Hank's. You have to do that. So the people, and Richard Pickle, Only Truth 007, I'm just picking names out. Michael Gentry. You know, when you do something, and if you're true patriots like we are, and Michael, I know you are. The other two were new, and I really don't know them. But Michael, I know you're a patriot. But when you go and talk to your people, do they listen? No. So now they don't listen to you, but because we're going to take things away. And yes, grounding them at home could be the way to do it. But it could also make them even madder and hate the hat even more. We got to come up with the perfect way to get these people.
Well, they got it. Well, we got when they get that money in their bank account.
To do it. And as Ron says, he thinks they've got it because once the people get the money in their bank account. But see, I'm going to tell you guys, people don't understand. They don't listen. Now, one that I think understands in my family, SANTHOSH. I see you're writing in different ways than we do. Can you tell us where you're from? But anyway, someone in my family, my daughter, who I know she's opening her eyes, because I talked to her tonight about these special beds. And she said, Dad, as long as Big Pharma's involved, they'll never happen. And that's the outlook of probably 100% of the people who doesn't have their eyes open. But I said, it is going down. And she says, when it happens, then I'll know everything you're telling me is 100% true. And I said, no, because when I say things, they're telling me things to say, or I'm saying things that I know no, I don't know they're not true, but I mean, 2 more days, come on. How many 2 more days can we go? I think we might be within a handful of 2 more days. Meaning I think everything will be done within 10 days. I think it's going to be done sooner, but as Bruce says, I don't want to call it. On Bruce's call last night, they talked about, I totally lost him when I heard Ron's phone ring. Calling it. He talked about calling it. He has a good reason to. He has a handler who has people that is really good. They know all this stuff. He has a couple of them. This one handler said a message from so-and-so, and he won't mention names, which we don't need to know names. A message from him, he literally contacted Bruce's handler and told the handler, tell Bruce to enjoy his last big call. He told him this. Bankers are coming out and saying that at the latest by Monday, people would be in banks. There is so much good news out there. Guys, you should go into this weekend with 2 objectives. Get a little bit of rest. Michael, some of you, Diane, a little sleep doesn't hurt. I am so happy with what you guys do for me. I tell you, when all of this happens, we're going to celebrate like nothing else, but get a little rest. Keep your eyes on what's going. I don't care what happens, what you hear. Do not get depressed this weekend. Because you're probably going to hear some things. Because if this is really the time that we're going to do this, you're probably going to hear some things. In the fact of what you might hear is the hat has been taken down. Please, please, if you hear that, get in touch with me. Send me a message and say, Patriot 5, Patriot 6, Ralph, Ron, whoever, whatever you want to call us. We don't care what you call us, as long if you invite us over for dinner, you don't call us too late for dinner. As long as we get to eat, we're good. Okay? That was my dad's favorite joke. Yes, the hat had it down to 187. And he'll get it there again, because what does he says? There's so much liquid gold under our feet in the United States.
Well, it's going down. So many prices go down about 40 cents.
And as Ron said, remember, guys, we could go back to 50 prices, but even in the 70s, the early 70s, I know because I was a senior in high school when I was 18. I can remember getting gas in the 70s when I started driving in 70. I can remember getting gas for 29, 30 cents, 40 cents a gallon. So imagine when I was talking to my daughter, and I was starting to talk about that, and I got sidetracked about her belief. And she does have belief, because I got sidetracked because we got talking about Big Pharma. But I told her, I said, from what I'm hearing, you and your husband, at your age, the latest, you'll get $1,200 a month apiece. And she looked at me and says, good, that might make my house payment. I said, do you not listen to me? Daughter, please listen to me. If you get that $1,200, your house payment's going to be paid. You're not going to have a house payment. You're not going to have credit card payments. You're going to have this and that. In order, well, she's, what do I got to do to get the $1,200? I said, stay working. I said, in your case, you're going to have to be retrained. So what do you mean I'm going to have to be retrained? I said, you have a degree. Yes. What's it in? And she told me, and you guys know she's a kindergarten teacher. I said, the way you're doing now is wrong. And you're going to understand it more. I'm not going to throw it all on you because I want them to do it professionally. I said, you know, I've talked to you about humanitarian projects. Like my son-in-law, Grandma Bo, I don't know if you're on, I haven't seen you. But Grandma Bo's son-in-law, grandson, my son-in-law, he come home from work tonight. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my daughter, my two granddaughters. Little boy was outside. And he comes in. He didn't even talk 10 words. Went straight back to his office and started calling people and doing more work. I said, see, that's why I couldn't have a job like him. When I worked in a factory. When I worked, I walked out them gates. When I walked out them gates, I didn't talk about work. My ex-wife got so mad at me. I'd come home. She'd look at me and she said, how was your day? On occasions, that's if she was home. I shouldn't have put that in there, but you got to have fun. I said, my day was good. How was yours? She said, what did you do? I said, I worked. I work in a factory. You know what I do? And she says, oh, what did you do? I said, I clean cells. You know what I do? I invented the job. You know what I do? I did not talk about work. I come down, my mom and my dad would say, how was work? I said to my dad, how many years did you work? He said, way too many than I should have. I said, then you know how my day at work was. But see, we had it a little different than a lot of people because our factory was just like this family here. We were family. You know, I was called a racist here a while back. a racist. I did not like black people. I didn't want to have nothing to do with black people. But my two brothers worked at G&B. I don't call them my favorite people. In order to be my favorite people, my brothers I love with all my heart. But my favorite people are the people who are good to me and I'm good to them. And my favorite foreman that I ever had up there was a man named Ralph Bailey. My favorite people was Larry Hill. But I'm a racist, but yet both of them were black. I would go to Larry's house, have cookouts with him. I would go to Ralph Bailey's house. We and him would go golfing. Ron would go golfing. And man, I'm telling you, that man could hit a ball a country mile. But he had no short game at all. He'd outdrive me when we'd hit. He'd outdrive me. He'd hit the ball 320 yards on a 360-yard hole. I'd hit the ball maybe 250. I'd stand out there and take my iron out, and I'd put it up there. And not all the time, but sometimes I'd put it up there right in the middle of the green. He might take two more shots again. He had no short game at all. Until he would get in a sand trap. And he'd get in a sand trap, and he could play out of that sand trap like you wouldn't believe. But the point is, guys, friends does not have any color attached to them. I don't care what color anybody is. If you're good to me, I'm good to you. That's why this BLM and all this other crap, I totally despise it. Bruce, where are we now? What we heard on Tuesday is that we were hearing about the free numbers, the 800 numbers lined up for release. But we haven't been able to confirm those emails going out to over an 18-hour period. But maybe they were lining them up to go out, and they think they know everyone, but they think they know everyone to send them out to, except the people who were gifted, because most of the people who were gifted is not. But the 800 numbers will be going out, from what we're hearing, very shortly, and I'm not going to give you the time period, but it's within the next 2 days. Okay? But you didn't hear that here. Which, if they go out today or tomorrow, Saturday, we could be getting appointments booked for Saturday evening. The redemption centers will stay open, will handle us. They want to get this over and done as quick as possible. He also said, remember that when you go in, this is yours, this isn't theirs, and you should be in full charge. He went in and talked a lot about praying and about talking about how the handler was told to tell Bruce that enjoy his last call. And guys, that's exciting. That's exciting when something like that happens, because I've been following Bruce a long, long, long time. And, you know, I was talking to Mary Ann. I think it was her that I sent this message to the other day. Me and Mary Ann message pretty much every day. It's especially Tuesday and Thursday, because we always joke about another Bruce call. And she listens, I believe. But I want to thank everybody who gets Bruce's call, especially the ones that break it down, and I don't have to listen to Bob. And it's got nothing against Bob. And, you know, and I get on Bruce and Bob for taking money. But in essence, they don't. They offer a product. And someone like me and Ron, who have had success in network marketing, I was telling Mary Ann, well, maybe that's what I should have did when I came in and I sent out my first video to the 12 people. I should have told them, hey, I've got a networking business. I'm going to pay your way in. And then when you get enough that are making at least $30, you pay 3 people's way in, and everybody just keeps doing that. And, you know, when we reach 20,000 people, we could add all 20,000 of them in. They all paid for 3 people. That's 60,000 more. And the way this program would have went, everybody would have been making a ton of money now, and we're really not taking anything from anybody. Because, see, the thing I loved about the program I was doing, which I got out of because I devoted my time to this, and I quit doing network marketing. The thing I liked about it, it was $10 to join. Then when you got making enough money, you came back in the $10 program under the people that you put in. So now they're helping you build, but then when you're building more, you're helping them build. But you also pay $25 more to go into the next one. And it goes to 50 and 100 and 150 and 200. And I told her, I didn't do it because I didn't want to make money. But in essence, that could have helped everybody make money. And part of me says, man, I should have offered it. Part of me's glad I didn't. But I did say, when all this happens, what if we start one just like that? Me and Ron started. And the money we're going to get, what if we take $50 or $60, $1,000 a piece, and we put 10, 15, 20,000 people in, whatever that would be. Everybody's going to fall down. So the people, like everybody here, if you want to do it, you're going to have, before you even have to worry about anything, you're going to be making a nice chunk of money. But when you get to a certain point, you agree to pay 6 people's way back in. So you're going to have to be making at least $100 to $150. You pay 6 people's way back in. If we pay 30,000 people's way in, and now all of a sudden you pay 6, you see what I mean? We can run through this and we can make money. But that's something for later on. It's just something I brought up. So I'm not aggravated with Bruce on that. Now with Sue, if they would take the time to sit down and prove to me this is the greatest program, but see, the only thing I've ever had with Sue is if she's never been to a redemption center, how does she know this? So, I mean, I wish her all the best, but I just don't like the idea that me and Eileen, mostly Eileen, put together a program for us. You go to the redemption center, if you asked me for it, I sent it to you, and you have what you need to go and show them the humanitarian projects. You're going to be working with Patriot5 and Patriot6 humanitarian projects and that. But see, guys, there's so much that I plan on doing. Someone has asked me, do you still plan on, wow, I just looked and we had 197 people on there. I blinked my eye and we had 230. Wow. But anyway, do you still plan on being around? And I says, I'm still planning, and this is what I'm going to put together something to see. I'm going to have a better format. Not that I don't like where we're at now, but I want to make sure that we have a format that we can do what we need to do. Because I might want to invite Mike Davis, Janet, and David, Kevin, Michael, Nunu Biswax. Anybody, I might want to have a format, Ron, where we have 5 or 6 people on the screen. And people such as Myrna and Diane and John with his Boogaloo and Boogaroos, that people like that everybody can bring people whose eyes are closed and talk to us and ask us questions. Not so much that we're doing a show, but we can do an hour to an hour and a half, like I'm doing now, 2 to 3 nights a week, answering questions to clear people's minds so they can get their vibrations up so we can work with them. And I think that could be one of the best humanitarian projects. Now, it's not going to cost a lot of money, but it's going to be the reason I said 6 or 8 people. And guys, if I left your name out, it doesn't mean I don't want to work with you. Anybody here that wants to come on a panel when this happens. But see, I want to get set up where I'm sitting on a computer like Mike Penny does, like PPM does, where we can say, we don't have to say the hat. We don't have to say the big N. If we want to talk about what's happened underneath, we have to by then. We can talk about anything. And as Ron says, we won't have to. I'm just saying, on here, you don't know. Now, before I go into read Judy, I did want to mention one thing that I heard today. And it struck me as funny, but it was one of those things that kind of passed in the breeze. And I can remember, I've talked to you guys about how I write this girl into Ukraine. Well, with everything going to get shut down, I've got her address and her phone number and everything, so I can stay in touch with her if everything gets shut down. But I also went and I started her a Yahoo email address, thinking, well, if they're going to shut Gmail down, we can communicate through Yahoo. Well, I heard today that Yahoo, you know what I'm talking about, is going down. Not Gmail. But see, this is all just hearsay. We have to wait to see what's going here, what's going there. We don't know. What we do know is it's on the verge of happening. And as I said, for your weekend, just keep that in mind. Bill, if you need to just say hi or you want to ask a question, get in touch with me. John, the same way. I'm going to be on and off this computer and this stuff all weekend long because I'm going to be checking my emails 50 times a day. But I've learned from when I got sick, and guys, as I talked to Myrna last night, she told me how concerned she was for my health. I said, my health is getting back to where it should be. But see, I believed so much in the doctors didn't help. I believed so much in these magical special beds that I almost killed myself. The doctors literally saved me. And that's why I tell Jimmy, do whatever you got to do. Mommy's got to do whatever she's got to do. Now, there's rumors that depending on how long, if you do pass away, you got that you can, there's all these rumors that we're going to be able to talk to loved ones. And I actually believe that one because I cannot see why we're working to build heaven on earth. My feelings is God has just decided it's time he wants his world like he first originally set out to create it. That bye-bye bad boys, hello the hat and the good guys. So let's see what Judy has to say. Which most of it I covered, so if I don't cover it all, don't worry because we're already an hour and 7 minutes in. And guys, I never say anything about thumbs up. I don't. It's not a thing to me that matters. I see these people say, well, if you really like this video, subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. I never say that. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate that. But if you don't want to hit the thumbs up button, I don't. But I've noticed a couple times tonight, a couple people in there in the chat has said, hey, let's get it to at least to 100 people in the thumbs up. And that's why I've been talking so much because I'm trying to get it there, but we're not having any luck. We're at 76 people with 209 on, and we've been higher than that. But it's okay because the one thing I promise you I will never do, I will never sit here and say, if you don't hit the thumbs up button, I'm not going to give you the information that I got. No, that's not me. I will never, ever say that. I will never, ever tell you that we have to do this, we have to do that. No, it's all about me telling you what I believe, because when I tell you this stuff, I believe it. Does it?
Rather you subscribe.
What's that?
Rather they.
Yeah, as Ron said, and I said a few minutes ago, I would rather you hit the subscribe button. That makes me feel a lot better than the thumbs up. But if 18 more people want to hit that thumbs up button, I'm not going to be disappointed. And it's not for me, guys. It's for the people in your chat, your buddies, your friends. So anyway, I hope I handled that okay. As you guys notice, guys, I've been in really good moods every show. As I told Myrna last night, Myrna, I would like to go back to 5 days a week. But when I go to 5 days a week, then I feel I got to work on the weekends on everything. And I literally run myself almost into my grave. So as long as 3 days a week is working for everyone, we'll stay there. Guys, I try to do a recorded one because my recorded ones are about 20 minutes just to let you guys know or just to say hi. just to say hi and let you know everything is going good, and keep your vibrations up, because that's what it's all about. Every time I talk to someone, they say, well, if you get your vibrations up, this will go. This is going to go when the hat is told by God it's going to go. That's when it's going to go, guys. Or the military, he tells the military. This was by Judy Bidington on today, the 26th, 2024, a call to truckers to join Texas standoff at Eagle Pass. 27 states sending National Guard to fend off Sleepy's Border Patrol from allowing illegal immigrants into the country. Texas governor invites truckers to join them. Military is on the way. The Global Military Alliance is ending deep state CABAL rule over the people. The Friday 26 Jan implementation of BRICS, National Global Currency Reset, cuts off globalist money and dissolves cabal central banks across the world. The GCR also eliminates cabal's IRS and Federal Reserve, replaces with 14% sales tax. But what they don't say on the 14% sales tax, that is only on brand new items. You buy a used house, you buy a used car, and it is no tax. And that, believe me, that really, really comes in. A child's prayer, the Tabernacle Choir. Heavenly Father, are you really there? And do you hear and answer every child's prayer? Some say that heaven is far away, but I feel it's close around for me to pray. Heavenly Father, I remember now something that Jesus told disciples long ago. Suffer the children to come to me. Father, in prayer, I'm coming now to thee. Prayer is there. Speak, he's listening. You are his child. His love now surrounds you. He hears your prayer. He loves the children. Of such is the kingdom of heaven. Judy, note, the U.S. has been under martial law since before President Hatt left office 2021, while President Hatt has served as the official commander-in-chief of the U.S. military and was in charge of the devaluation plan. Across the European Union, preparations are underway for the return of the hat. Xi Jinping, the leader of China's Communist Party, has initiated a purge of CCP officials and generals was in the military for an international collapse of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. So when their leader is preparing for it, you know it's intimate. The Central Intelligence Agency starts with a C and ends with an A, is under the spotlight for its involvement overthrowing more than 70 countries worldwide. Germany's military plans for WW3 have been leaked. Then it says some things about General Flynn, and that I can't read. It appears from the below intel from Wolverine and Bruce that Tier 4B, us, the internet group, will be receiving emails that have information on how we can set up currency exchange and bond redemption appointments anywhere from Saturday, 27th January through Tuesday, 30 January. And those appointments will run until Thursday, 15th February 2024. Thursday, 25th January, Wolverine Reno said gold-backed dollar was introduced last night, 4:47 a.m. All 86 platforms were now loaded with the money and ready to launch. Then they go into what Bruce said, which I've already covered. Guys, it's been a great week. I really believe it. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm as I said, when I was a young kid, I used to detassel corn. And you make so many great friends when you're detasseling corn, working for 55 cents, 60 cents an hour, but it didn't matter because we was all friends and we was out there. And there was one girl I remember, and I'll never forget her saying, I'm so excited, I almost peed my pants. That's how I am now, guys. I have to run when I feel like I got to go because I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. And I'm about to lose control. Let's get this done. As I tell you, there's music for everything. If you're having trouble, go to right here to this platform. Don't mess with the music of today. Don't mess with that. I'm a Lone Star cowboy, just doing cowboy things. Don't get that hillbilly stuff. And I'm not messing with hillbillies, guys. I love them. Have a lot of family members that are them. But get into the late 50s and early 60s because when I'm with you, oh boy, my world is so much better. That's a Buddy Holly song. And you know, guys, as me and Ron say, rock around the clock tonight. Everything, guys. Get some music going. You know, there's some nights I've had a bad day, and I'll turn this channel on right here, and I'll click, and I'll just listen to music. Man, I listen to Motown. I introduced the girl in the Ukraine this week to Motown. I send her the songs so she can listen to them. She goes, my goodness, that music is so amazing. And then, you know, I also introduced her to the Turtles and the Beach Boys and where could we be without Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and a bopper, and can't wait to see them perform again. But, you know, guys, when it all comes down to it, there's really and truthfully two kings. One of them was an individual, and he goes by the name of Elvis Presley. You thought I was going to say Bob Joyce, didn't you? I tricked you. And the other kings were four people called the Beatles. And if you can't get happiness, if you can't find joy in that music, oh, guys, I've talked all I can. I tried to get us to 100. I got us to 89. So for the ones that tried to get us there, hey, thank you. But it doesn't matter because I know everybody who wasn't signed up with us, they did it tonight. God bless. We love yous all, and we'll see you over the weekend sometime, but if not, Monday night for sure. But I know we'll do a recorded one, and, you know, let's just keep doing it, guys. We got a great group here. We got a family. Love yous all. Good night.